Hello, everyone. This is Kim. Yes, today, as you can see, Mississippi State. I've worn this shirt twice. Today is the second time. The first time is when I married my husband because his alma mater is Mississippi State. I, as you should know by now, am a diehard Duck fan. Regardless, it's a sad day for football. It's a very sad day. When I heard 2 days ago that Mike Leach was in critical condition, I, of course, immediately told my husband, who isn't tuned into the same. See, I follow Twitter, he doesn't. And yes, we both were following our news sources intensely since then. I, unfortunately, did not know what a legend he is. In fact, I even went as far as to say a godlike status, because it's very rare to find someone like him. Now, in the meantime, I did somewhat compare myself to him, only because my show is called Ramblings with Kim. I do a lot of rambling. When I coached, you didn't know where it was going to end up at. And I have to admit, when he started talking about the Pac-12 and the mascots, whether they could, fight each other, and the mystical powers of the Sun Devils and the Ducks, well, they could just fly off. Yeah. He pretty much won me over.
First of all, what kind of mythical powers does a Sun Devil have? We got to consider that. I'm going to say the Wildcat's out. The Trojan, does he have a horse or is he on foot? Does he have a bow and arrow or just his sword? The Bruin, definitely formidable. Another bear up there at Cal. The tree, I imagine that tree's going to get chopped down. Unless we're going to go with a bird and somebody might get pecked or something, I don't know. The duck might lose interest and just fly away and get out of there, which may be good advice under the circumstances. The husky, no chance. The beaver, well, we'll see how long that beaver can hold his breath. The ute, again, we're back to, is he on horseback? Does he have a bow and arrow? Did he trade for a rifle? I mean, because if that ute's got a rifle, there's some definite problems. You'd have to get one of those Harry Potter activists to read up on how you kill a Sun Devil, because there's a lot of outside stuff there. Just as far as a beast alone, a buffalo's going to be pretty hard to tangle with. I mean, a buffalo's utterly outstanding. Did I leave any of them out? The Cougar will find a way. Clear-minded and crafty, a combination of stay out of harm's way and attack when you get your chances or your openings.
I love the fact that he held some kind of tryout for punter and decided to recruit him.
He needed a kicker. He didn't go to Florida or Oklahoma. He went to the stands. Matt Williams was just a fan at a Tech game until this moment. He volunteered in a promotional contest. If he could kick a field goal, he'd win free rent.
Okay, Matt, whenever you're ready, give it a shot.
He takes one step and puts it right down the center of the goalpost. I mean, that's pressure. I figured it'd be easier to kick extra points after that.
Leach sent an equipment manager to catch the contest winner. Williams joined the team and hasn't missed an extra point since.
That's something that I would do if it were me. Because there had to have been someone that could do it somewhere along the way. I have loved watching his videos, being interviewed about getting married. Don't get married. Elope. Because everyone will go crazy. And the future groom doesn't care. It's just a trap for him. Every question that his fiancée may ask him, it's just a trap. And it doesn't matter what he says. He'll just get in trouble.
I know you have strong thoughts on weddings. I'm in the middle of planning one right now. Do you have any advice for me?
Who are you marrying?
His name is Trevor.
Okay, yeah, well, I'll have to just set up a meeting and I'll talk to him. Okay, so where's Trevor from?
He's from Florida.
What does Trevor do for a living?
He works in sports as well, covers football.
He does what?
He covers football as well.
Really? Well, I don't know. We'll keep a close eye on it, but whatever you and Trevor decide, I would kind of keep it on the down low, which you failed to do that. Trevor was probably planning to, but you didn't. So go ahead and don't say anything else about it, but as soon as the season's over, or even an off week, go elope. Trust me on that. Go elope. Because basically every female in the family is going to terrorize you guys until it's over. Once it's over, I mean, they'll be upset for a few days, but it'll be over. And then, you know, you cruise away, along, have a happy marriage, have a happy life.
I'll pass along the message. Thanks, Coach. Congrats on the win.
Trevor, unless he's crazy, is totally on my side. And trust me on this. If Trevor doesn't have the sense to do that, tell him to call me, because, I mean, he needs to do. I've told all my kids, I'll give you $10,000 extra if you elope. So far, they haven't done it, but I would, too.
Dinosaur hands. If we don't develop these players, which he was known for the air raid offense, passing, opening up an area and passing the ball. If we don't develop players' arms, kids' arms, they could turn in generations into a Tyrannosaurus Rex with dinosaur arms.
And I'm genuinely fearful that on our team, if me and the other coaches don't get them right, that about a generation from now, their kids and their grandkids won't have hands. From a lack of use, those hands just disappear. Maybe they'll be like this, like those dinosaur hands like this are, you see. You got like a Tyrannosaurus Rex who's clearly good at eating things, big old jaws and all that stuff, fairly athletic, can run. Well, his hands are like this. I think we took a very, very, very big step as a team, which we have to correct this. It's going to be best for all these guys that they have good hand development and that they don't evolve
to where they don't have hands. But we definitely didn't use ours, and so there certainly wasn't any genetic reinforcement on our part. And I don't want all of a sudden, guys driving across this country, and then they get to Starkville, Mississippi, and all of a sudden there's these athletic-looking, friendly guys that don't have any hands.
His choice of candy has to be the German Haribos. Although he does like the new nerd gummies. I had a friend at work who did it as well. So, as long as you didn't give him candy corn, you could be his friend. But a bag of Haribos, you could be his friend forever.
We talked about on the broadcast how you hate candy corn. What's your favorite Halloween
Candy
candy?
corn. I completely hate candy corn. When I was a kid, gummy bears, let's see. Gummy bears for sure.
Sour or regular?
The Haribo. It's got to be the Haribo ones. And then the other thing I like is when they used to have the sprees in a box. Outstanding. You have to go to the dollar store to find it, but I do. And then the latest, there's still candy innovation, although a while back I found that Europe had better candy than we did overall because they have gummy everything. And then, they have those Nerds clusters, which is new.
With the gummy.
Yeah, which is good. The Nerds clusters is good. And then if you go chocolate, probably Almond Joy.
Love it. Hopefully you'll get some of that next week.
Yeah, we'll see.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
He had a fascination with Geronimo and Native Americans. He never played college football. He hurt himself before he could, and I've said that before about college football players. It's anybody who plays any sport. If you make it through elementary school and you get to play in middle school, great. If you make it through middle school and you get to play in high school, great. If you make it through high school and get to play in college, great. If you make it through college and you get to play professionally, great. That's how it goes. It's not, I'm going to take it easy so that I get to play professionally. So he did what you should do. So he never played professionally. He went to law school, but he never took the bar exam. And I think that the law school component is lost on a lot of people. Going to law school, I know I took my LSATs. I had actually been accepted to law school. The LSATs at the time are very logical based and quick paced. And law courses are somewhat like that as well. So if you think about football that way, of course, his mind is going to think that way as well, even if when he's speaking, it doesn't sound that way. So if someone thinks of him as just, well, yes, he's just weird guy that talks about gummy bears. He couldn't possibly coach football. And then he does. They forget how intelligent he actually is. And then, of course, he received a master's degree in sports and physical science and was one of the brightest to graduate from that college. Yes, there was some controversy at Texas Tech. I can understand why. And he was fined for saying their girlfriends were fat, which is absolutely hilarious because there's a meme out there that talks about Air Force wives, Army wives, Marine wives, Navy wives, and Army wives are the fattest of all of them. Now you can come down on me if you want to. I was an Army wife twice. See, I can count twice. So, yeah, it's probably not the nicest thing to say. There's a lot of not nice things that coaches say all the time. But this came down to more of a player who believed he was just too good to really have to do much of anything. Yeah, one of those. And then he complained about something in the stories clashed, and they decided to fire him. And basically, Bleacher Report believes that it was mainly because they would have owed him a bonus, which makes complete and total sense because that type of thing happens all the time. And not just in sports, but look what happened with Twitter. And we all know why that happened. It happens all over the world, and it doesn't matter. It just is one of those things that you just cannot control. And he tried to fight it. It was ridiculous. But when he was fined on the one, they raised $5,000 for him. And instead of him taking it and using it for his fine, he told them to actually use it to buy hams for the people in Lubbock. I had to start looking up these controversies because I heard about the controversies. And one of the controversies I heard of was he went to the Mississippi State Legislature and at the Capitol and lobbied to have the Confederate flag taken down. And I'm like, yes, this is a man I can get behind. And while he left, but he took the biscuits off of everyone's plates and put them in his pocket. Now, I don't know if he was going to eat them. I mean, their biscuits are great. Maybe he's going to throw them away. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen with those biscuits? I never found out. But he bounced around like most coaches do. And he ended up, at Mississippi State. And he basically rebuilt programs. I mean, he managed, he was actually doing really well this year. I was really hoping he was going to beat Alabama, but Alabama was really mad after what happened at Clemson. So I don't think that was going to happen. But just the stories about him. The best is something that I would have done. And him drawing up plays that were the exact opposite of the plays that they were going to run. And then he had his quarterback drop them. And the other team saw that they were dropped, and they ran out, picked them up, took them up to the booth, and they thought they had gold. And it took a couple plays before they realized that they had been duped.
Everybody likes a good caper, and everybody wants to know something the other guy doesn't know.
Call it the Cotton Bowl Caper. The year was 1999, and making his debut in the rivalry was a mysterious new character, calling plays for OU.
I know that we got to do anything we can to get an edge and to try to keep them off balance and try to get them to squander as many plays as we can.
The Sooners were heavy underdogs, and on Wednesday night, just 3 days before the game, Leach had an idea. More like a play script scheme.
We wanted to just see how honest Texas was, so we decided to write up a script, a dummy script.
The challenge for Leach in the decoy script was to come up with complementary plays to the actual one. So if you were running a play to the left, you wanted the decoy script to say something was going to the right.
The next part of the plot? Call it the drop. Leach used one of his players pregame to deploy the decoy, so Texas would be sure to find it.
He's like, I want you to run past their sideline, and as you're running up the tunnel, I want you to take the script and act like you're putting it in your belt loop and let it fall out onto the ground. It was kind of the first real espionage I'd ever been a part of.
One of their GAs is wandering by and, oh, what's this? A piece of paper. He looks at it and his eyes get kind of big, and he sort of hides it and looks around to see if anybody saw him get it.
Sure enough, the fake play script made its way straight to the Texas locker room.
We all thought it was real because we thought that the alternative would be just so far-fetched that somebody would go through the trouble to create a fake call sheet and actually leave it and drop it, where we would find it.
Carl Reese takes it up to the press box. He starts studying the script, trying to figure out what defense they're going to call to match up the script.
When I wasn't calling defenses, I was looking at it, and it was a huge distraction.
And on the second play of the game, the script says double reverse pass.
We were trying to get them over there to the left. We hit Savage, and everybody was over to the left, and Savage was to the right.
So on first down, Hyper wide open is the freshman Savage. Touchdown, Oklahoma.
It's very hard in the course of a football game to go back and see a wide receiver at any level of football that wide open.
Going up top, Jackson one-on-one, turns around with a catch to the end zone.
As the game went on, it was a catastrophe.
By the time it was 17-0 Sooners, Coach Reese had seen enough of the so-called script.
I grabbed it, wadded it up in a tight ball, and there was a trash can sitting over the corner. I'd give it a toss, and there it was. Got rid of it.
After trashing the script and calling their original defenses, Texas outscored Oklahoma 38-11 the rest of the way.
48 yards, Cavill to the end zone.
Nearly 20 years later, the caper has come to light, and so has the lesson.
The lesson is if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
Don't ever try to pick up my scripts or steal my signals, because you don't know what may be in store for you.
How's that not just the best thing ever? Even if you didn't win, it was just amazing, 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 amazing. I mean, come on. That is so awesome. That is so awesome. So let me get back to my Twitter feed here. Because yes, we talked about the dinosaur hands. But how about how he chose the person that was the team captain and had to just pick heads or tails? And he chose him because he was on The Price is Right. And he was actually the closest person. He had the closest price to the prize, but he was over, so he couldn't have won instead of being under. So he thought, well, that's pretty good. If he can do that, well, then I'll just have him do the coin toss, because we don't need a bunch of people out there. We only need one person to say heads or tails. I mean, why do we need a committee? So we picked the person who had been on Price is Right. And apparently, this individual, it sounds like, beat the odds. Because if you do statistics like I do, you know that every time the coin goes in the air, you have a 50-50 chance of it being heads or tails. And the next time you go out there, the odds are exactly the same. So it's not like it increases. So if you won the first time, it's not like your odds decrease the next time. No, they're exactly the same.
So then I thought, well, all the guy really does is the coin toss. And then I decided, one of the most screwed up things about this country is the fact that in order to do anything, in order to cross the street, we always have to have a committee, and I said, and so I figured, well, screw the committee. We really only need one guy. And now he's got to be smart enough to call either heads or tails. That's it. And so then I thought about, well, should I get the biggest guy on the team or the littlest guy on the team? And then I thought, well, Jamal Morrow was on The Price is Right and was fairly lucky and went to the final round and almost won the sucker. And it was closest to the price, but he's over by like $3. The other person's under by like $60, but since he's over, he loses. And so I figured, well, Jamal Morrow's a lucky guy. Plus, he's got pretty good energy to him and stuff like that. So why not Jamal Morrow? And so then Jamal Morrow goes out and did have an amazing knack for winning the toss. And then, wins it almost all the time. Literally. I'm serious about this. I don't know what his record is, but it's something incredible. And then, but I don't even really care about that, because one way or the other, you get the ball one half or the other. So Morrow goes goes out there and he had a funny tendency to win. Then I'm thinking, I don't want to sit here and think of and sort out a new guy to do it. So Jamal Morrow has gone out there for the coin toss for about 2.5 years and quite honestly done a tremendous job in my opinion. Then we got on a roll, and so then I liked it even better.
But why not? Why not pick the person who got the closest on The Price is Right? Because that's perfect logic. And let's see, he was on Friday Night Lights. I don't remember seeing him. But me, as a coach, this is something I would do. He decided, I believe it's his receivers, weren't working hard enough. So he folded up all the folding chairs on the sideline and threw them on the ground because they didn't need to sit. If they weren't going to work. I mean, come on. How could you not? Oh my gosh. There's one on here from Craig, 5 against 1. Apparently God said to Mike Leach, "It's time to go." And Mike said, "Well, you say it's time to go, but let's look at what that really means." You know, people are always saying that, and I never know what they mean. And 24 hours later, he's still responding. Well, that was 19 hours ago. If you've ever watched any of my YouTube videos, and you would be a very small audience, if you did, you would either be a Oregon soccer fan, diehard Oregon soccer fan. You would be an Amazon employee, possibly someone that is a diehard Colorado Springs political Democrat, or a royalist. Yes, it's that royalist that I come to. One of my favorites, as I saw here today, because this brought it all together for me. This is from the Coon Dog, and that's trademarked. Somewhere up in heaven, Mike Leach is explaining the inner workings of the Wankel rotary engine to Queen Elizabeth II, and she's loving every minute of it. Yes. That is exactly it. That sums up all my podcasts in a nutshell. Get that out to Clarence House and Kensington Palace. Because he relates to absolutely everyone. Everyone, yes. Now, the last thing I'm going to say before I leave is that he does not qualify for the Football Hall of Fame because he has to have made at least 60% wins. I believe he has 59.6 something. He's 3 games short. So what I'm going to ask is that everyone okay, some of you, I don't know how many, anyone that watches this, to please send an appeal out that we want Mike Leach in the Football Hall of Fame. And honestly, he needs to be in a place of honor for making the game fun. Because if the game was fun like this off the field, the game had to be fun on the field as well. Yes, it had to be hard, but he had to be telling goofy stories like this to his players. So let's get Mike Leach into the Football Hall of Fame. So for now, I'm going to say goodbye. And we will miss you.